Home movies are tiny time capsules reaching into the past. They serve as bridges linking adults to their childhoods and to memories of their parents when they were young. In some cases, they may constitute some of the best historical footage of a tiny island community riding in the wake of strategic missile defense program decisions made a world away in Washington, D.C. Tony Molica, a former Kwaj kid, has heaps of just this type of footage. Recorded by his father Lanny, beginning in January 1970 and ending in December 1975, the Molica Super 8 film reels capture Kwajalein and the Molica family as they existed during two separate tours. One tour came at the start of the Kwajalein Missile Range's massive Safeguard missile and radar testing series taking place on Meck Island.
System tests would soon start here at Kwajalein against ICBM targets. Many Kwajalein facilities had been enlarged and improved for the influx of Army and civilian personnel and their families.
The other tour came about 5 years later, as the Safeguard era of anti-missile testing was coming to an end on the missile range. AFN Kwajalein had a chance this week to chat with Molica about his father's passion for capturing daily life on film. In this interview, we discuss Tony's Herculean efforts to preserve the footage, and we also take a walk down memory lane, strolling through his boyhood home of Kwajalein.
And there it is, the blue and the red racing car, and he put it together with us, and we both had. And then look at the blue and the red, the bathrobe. So this is kind of how we distinguish whose was whose, right? That sort of thing. And that's my.
Who are you in this? Which color robe are you?
I'm blue, and my dad is, and my son, my brother Mike is red, and he's a year younger. And then my sister Jill. So Jill is 4 years older than me. So if I'm 5, she's like 9 or 10. We lived at Silver City, and I remember the trailer number was trailer number 930. And the phone number was 84630, so we have a 5-digit phone number.
Yeah, because there's a lot of good footage of you guys riding your bikes around Silver City. Tell me about Silver City. Like, what was it like just living there?
Oh, Silver City. All right, so there's the kind of things that kids would play. There was a park. I remember a park right across the street. Like, there was a green area where kids would just play. Lots of biking. If I wanted to go to, there was a white building called Special something where you could go and just grab a basketball. If you could grab something. And I don't know what that building is called. I have a picture of it, but what is it?
I'm there right now.
What is that building called?
Special Services back then.
That's it. We would go there and grab like a sport ball or a volleyball or something. We would just go play. So what was it like living in Silver City? Lots of biking around, lots of kids my age. We would do goofy things like take a model airplane and put it in the back of our bicycle and try to get it to elevate. So we did goofy little things like that. That's what kids would do, right? We also went to a theater called, I think it was Richardson Theater, and the movies were always free. So if we were bored, we would actually go and maybe just watch the movie. My dad got this old Wurlitzer piano, and he was able to ship it to the island. And I took lessons on the island, and one of the women there, her husband worked in as an engineer. I don't remember her name, but I would walk in and she had a baby grand piano on the island. And I'm just thinking to myself, how on earth she was able to get a piano in the middle of an island? Like, where did she buy it? How did she have it shipped? It was just mind-boggling that she was able to get this massive grand piano.
There's one other video I'm just fascinated by, and it's the La Dolce Vita, the Sweet Life.
Yeah, so that was my dad wanting to do a very goofy documentary on what Kwaj life was like. And he had a lot of time on the weekends and for him to do this. And what was interesting, the reason why I was so fascinated about it was that was the time when the film he bought allowed you to have a magnetic strip of audio. And so what he wanted to do remember, he was like into this technology, but the technology was Super 8. But now we bought a new camera with a sound microphone on it that would record audio. Now, that film that we have now is silent because I don't have the means to take the sound that he created and convert it. The video was just kind of a goofy, fun family activity. I was so excited about it because it was like, hey, we're doing the film La Dolce Vita. We're gonna do the tennis scenes and we're gonna do the beach scenes, and this is how we're gonna play it out. And that was our fun day with Dad and my mother. We were all involved. The only one who kind of thought it was goofy was my sister. She was 14 and she was embarrassed by it. So she kind of reluctantly participated, but my brother and I loved it. And then we did that. It was fun. That's La Dolce Vita.
It's so cool. It's so it's so precious. Like, no one does that. And what a cool memory, cool thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I had the island memorized by bike when I left the island the second time. I could close my eyes and drive across the entire island, and I knew it. But did you notice the monkey bars, like the tall monkey bars of my sister Gina?
Yeah.
So my sister Gina is 10 years older, so she's probably 14. And monkey bars were pretty popular in the 70s, and that's what she wrote. I do remember going to Ebi. We maybe went twice. So we went with a church group. All right. But when there were activities to go on the island, it was usually the Protestant church. And we would go, and they were very kind of kumbaya. They would kind of have their puka shells and their Hawaiian shirts. And they would have these sunrise and sunset services. And I remember this guy that literally looked like Billy Graham. He looked like Billy Graham. And I don't remember his name, but this was the dude that he had the sideburns. He talked like Billy Graham. He had a stern face. I just wish I could see a picture of the guy that was like the pastor of the church in 1975. I also have a funny story of going to Ponape. And I went with my family on a family trip to Ponape, and they did the whole ceremony, and I know I have footage of this. I'm trying to find the Ponape visit, but in addition to visiting the falls, they had a ceremony where the first thing that I noticed as a 10-year-old boy is they had the ladies walked around without shirts. And for me as a 10-year-old, I was like, wow, that's kind of cool, right? But they also brought me up to drink this potion, like this stuff they took a root of a plant on the island. And whatever it was intoxicating.
And they let the drink it.
Huh? What's that?
And they let the children drink it?
They let me, they literally picked me out of the crowd and I drank it. So there's footage of me going up there to do this little dance with these wands that the kids were, and that's because I was high as a kite.
Now, I got to tell you this. Tony fits in real well with those people. And the first one they picked out was Tony, and he was up there with the boys dancing. They seem to be attracted to Tony very much because perhaps he's dark. He has big black eyes just like they do. And the girls, they really go gaga over him because they tell him he's beautiful and he gets all flustered and everything. But Tony is not bashful. The natives are restless. Hey, Moana, shall we go out for supper tonight?
What shall we do supper tonight?
We gotta take our trusty knife with us, just in case we come across some cannibals. What?
As our journey ends, we return to Kwaj.
Yo, good morning.
KFRTS, good morning.
Science class took place on the water as Kwajalein Junior Senior High School students made their way to Meck Island. Their goal? To visit the Johnson Control renewable energy operations currently underway on the site. James Wyant, a subcontractor for Johnson Controls, briefed the students on all the basics: volts, amps, ohms, watts, battery cells, all the stuff you wish you remembered from high school physics. The sun rose as the students approached Meck. Perfect timing to learn about photovoltaic energy. High schoolers had the opportunity to see their classroom knowledge in the real world, as Wyant explained the ins and outs of the system.
What we installed was a capability to convert sunlight into usable energy to power the island. Part of being able to do that is being able to store the energy at night or when the clouds come by. That's the energy storage system. And together they make the grid more robust and more durable, more reliable, and cut the diesel consumption roughly in half.
Did you get all that? If not, here's Katie O'Rourke to explain in another way.
So basically what they have is that they have this huge thing of solar panels, right? And what happens is even when it's like cloudy or something, they're still getting some sort of sun, like power or whatever. And they have like diesel too. When the sun's shining down and everything else, and it's like full on sun and everything else, there's a lot less diesel used, and they can focus more on like the solar part of it. But even if there's like all sorts of rain and everything else, the diesel comes in, and that helps still power along the island without any sort of interruptions.
Part of this demonstration was to shut off the diesel generators, allowing the panels to power the now silent island. Such technology brings up the question, where are we in the process of switching to exclusively renewable energy?
I see as we have just passed over a tipping point. We're proving that we can run this island on solar power for a vast bulk of the day. The technology is still new. The technology is still evolving. I'm not a solar energy advocate, but we couldn't even consider doing this 10 years ago. Like I said, I think this is a good time, especially for the kids that are juniors and seniors coming out of high school. This is what they're going to be doing for the first part of their adult lives.
You take the solar power stuff now and you start usually using less diesel over time, and then eventually we'll get to the point where we keep using less and less of it and it gets more obscure and everything else.
Definitely solar energy and more sustainable energy sources and renewable energy sources are the better way to go. Renewable energy isn't to the point where it's worth changing everything right now, but I mean in the future it's definitely going to upgrade and change. Trying to keep the earth clean, we're going to need it, so.
Solar energy still has a road ahead of it until it fully powers our grid. But just like the Kwajalein Junior Senior High Schoolers, it has a bright future ahead of it. Pun fully intended. Various Kwajalein school bands played the hits during the Pops concert on eBay. All feature pieces were conducted by Kyle Miller and derived from Western pop culture. From movies to TV shows, oldies to pop. The concert was open to all and attended by everyone.